Hey yo, what's up, Alpha Squad YouTube? It's Uncle Scrooge again, y'all. Y'all know this at Go Hard or Go Home channel. All right, y'all. Tonight we're gonna be talking about a lot of men that they play themselves in this dating thing. So we're gonna be going over that this evening. We got about 4 videos we're gonna be watching here, and we're gonna talk about what we think about those videos. Anybody hops on, anybody gets in there, y'all drop the comments and let me know what y'all thinking. And if not, y'all catch me on a recap on that. All right, we y'all watch it later. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get into this. I'm gonna talk a little bit about this real quick, and then we're gonna get into this first video. All right, I think a lot of guys out here doing a little bit too much when it comes to dating. All right, they kind of play themselves a bit, and the thing of it is this has a lot to do with a lot of societal norms and stuff that I think it's got might have to change a little bit for guys. Just not really change a whole lot, but they might can't do them the same way. Like for example, you might can't just be as generous up front as you want to be because you might get it might get taken advantage of. So a lot of guys do this. So it's thing you gotta look at. All right, we're gonna get into this first video here, and we're gonna check that out. Now, this lady here, she got some opinions on dating.
Is the
Hold
man
on, let me. Yeah, no, I ain't got that good at that yet. So this lady right here, she's got some opinions on dating. Basically what a man should do, and this is one of the things I think kind of drives this thing. Why I say a lot of guys wind up playing themselves because some of this stuff right here is like stuff that will kind of indoctrinate you for a certain way of thinking. So if you know what I'm saying, you kind of go with stuff like this and stuff like this kind of get put in front of your face all of your life, you probably gonna have a certain way of believing. So we're gonna see what her opinions are, and I'm gonna talk about that a little bit.
It's 2025. Does the man still have to pay for the first date? Yesterday, I was out with a bunch of my friends and this topic came up and I was like, what are we doing here again? Like, we already know the name of the game, like the guy pays. My guy friends, who I love and respect, some of them thought I was being so unreasonable to be like, I still think the man should pay for the first date and all subsequent dates. Some of my friends even were like, Kim, you're such a feminist. Like, why would you think that the girls shouldn't have to pay half? Like, it's equal. For me, as a relationship expert, I've always believed that the man should pay, and it's for 3 different reasons. Number 1, the woman always has more risk on a first date. Okay, she's walking into a situation where she doesn't know if the man is a predator or is gonna do something bad to her, is gonna become a stalker.
Now, I don't know if she's really right about that. Um, I can see what she's saying. Like it could, but and this is what guys get scared is Me Too thing too, because like she's saying that in like in a way like like I don't know if I'm going to meet a stalker or a predator. So sometimes guys to think themselves about this too. You know what I'm saying? And that's why they kind of maybe overcompensate for this bit a little bit. And that's how you wind up playing yourself. This is one of the things I think is something that you know you get put into you. Oh, I don't want her to think this and I don't think this. So you kind of overcompensate for that. You don't want her to think you're a stalker. You don't want her to think you're a predator on the first date. So you overdoing it to try to avoid that. We're gonna let her keep going on. We're gonna roll on and see what else she's talking about.
Stalker. It's so risky just for a girl to go on a first date. That's number
See?
1. Number 2, the expense for a girl to go out on a date is just exponentially higher than it is for a guy. Out.
Okay, so here's the thing. I'm gonna let her finish talking about that, but here's the deal. Okay, they hit you with this one a lot, and a lot of guys try to overcompensate on this part too. All right, I I think she's even gonna go on and talking about like hair and nails and all this stuff. And some guys even be paying for that, and you shouldn't be paying for that on the first date. Yeah, paying for her hair, nails, and upkeep and stuff like that. That stuff like that. Like you done got this. This you went to your girlfriend. This should not be a first date thing. Okay. So a lot of guys kind of plan themselves with that one. Some guys are doing that though. They're buying this stuff. They're paying for the hair. They're paying for the nails. They're paying for the babysitter. They're doing this and that, and it's just the first date. So you got to keep that kind of stuff in mind. But I'm gonna let her finish this right quick.
Your hair, the cost of your makeup, the upkeep to keep you looking and feeling the way that you do. It's just, and you might come at me and be like, you know what, like you choose to do that, or the man has to put effort into his appearance too. But if we're being honest with ourselves, it is not the same. Number 3, men have generally more to gain from the relationship than a woman does. I think back to when I was married, and I had about 2 years where I was either pregnant or acutely recovering from a pregnancy. Probably longer when you factor in actually like taking care of the newborn babies and breastfeeding and all of that stuff. So the actual investment that a woman has to make into a relationship comes later and comes with like your bodily autonomy, your freedom, the way you look and feel literally and medically for the rest of your life. The risk and the investment is just so great that even the financial piece like can't fully compensate for you for the sacrifices that you're going to make potentially in this relationship. Now that doesn't mean that you can't be grateful when someone treats you to a beautiful date. That's a different story to be like, thank you so much for the beautiful dinner, or thank you so much for this wonderful experience. But when it comes down to it, I feel like for men, even if you meet this girl and you feel like you're not romantically interested in her, I think you do have a responsibility to pay, because as a society, the man should be the one investing in those initial like courting experiences.
Okay, there we go. So y'all heard what she said. All right. And like I said, a lot of guys, they believe in this. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that's such a society norm as what she's saying, because a lot of things have changed these days. You know, there's a lot of stuff that's different. So I don't know if that's such a norm in society as she's saying the guy should pay first. And a lot of women are the ones that are saying like, "Hey, look, you know, they'll pay or go first, or do the what's that Dutch? You know what I'm saying, 50-50." So a lot of guys, they wind up, you know, because of stuff like this type of video, because this is the kind of thing that's perpetrated to people. We're going to be watching a couple of other ones to see what other people are saying. But because of these kind of things, like what she's saying, and the way that people keep getting hit with this, the society norms and stuff like that, a lot of guys overcompensate in the beginning of dating. That's why I say they be playing themselves. But it's because some of it because they got these different beliefs. Some of it is these different beliefs. This woman just went over saying that, hey, look, the guy should always pay. Then she talked about the stalker thing. I don't know if I'm going with a stalker, all this kind of stuff like that. And guys are afraid of that anyway. The Me Too and all the other good junk, guys are really afraid of that. So a lot of guys overcompensate when they go into the dating thing because of these things. All right. Which probably don't happen that often. They're not that bad of things. I'm not gonna say they ain't bad of things, but they're not things that guys really have on their mind. But a lot of guys overcompensate because they know that, like how this woman just got done talking. Women sometimes be on some other junk, and they trying to soothe that, but you really can't because, well, you just heard this junk she was just saying. So uh, I say the best way around, just don't try to overcompensate. We finna get into the next video here. See what these guys are gonna talk about. Now, don't mind me, y'all. When I add the stage here, I always gotta
slides her man, her credit.
No.
A woman.
Now, these guys are talking about a situation where I guess a woman helped with a date. So we're gonna see what they say about that. Probably somewhere in there, I'm gonna be stopping and talk about a little bit of stuff. Y'all got comments and junk, y'all dropping it in the thing, and in the link too. If you want to come up and talk, got any comments? Hit the link in the thing over there, the comments. So let's see what this guy's got to say.
Slides her man her credit card so he can pay for the bill at a restaurant he can't afford.
Can I just keep it G real quick, man to man, to the fellas that would have a problem and feel like your lady got to slide you the credit card for the dinner? You a weak bro. Nah, before y'all start clapping, this a man-to-man conversation. This not me beating up niggas. From time to time, us as men have to have real conversations. If you've composed your manhood in such a way that a woman that you profess to want to be with looking out for you chips away at it, you haven't built. I don't know what bricks you thought you was using to build yourself up, but if what you built into manhood is sensitive enough that your lady doing a nice thing for you, just covering the date, dog. If your manhood can't take that, whatever you build is not manhood, G. Too often, fellas, and I don't blame you, because we taught this at home, we taught this in society, and as much as the women be trying to play, they enforce it too. We taught that we supposed to have money. Big dog, I tell you, that's a trap. Statistically, most men ain't even gonna make enough money to start measuring themselves by their paycheck, bro. They not. And I'm not telling you not to have your stuff together. I'm saying have your stuff together, but understand that you are not your stuff. Don't get a woman that fuck with you because you got your shit together. Get a woman that fuck with you.
A woman.
So here's the deal I saw in that video right there. And I like the way the guy, he kind of twisted a little bit. It looked like it was going one way. And the ladies was like, oh, yeah. And then he started talking. They was like, oh. But he was right. Okay? A lot of guys play themselves in dating because they won't let the woman put in. You got to. Really, like the man was saying in the video, she should be allowed to do some good shit for you too. And when I say allowed, it shouldn't really be allowed. She should want to. Okay, I talk about this all the time in my videos. If she won't swipe that card, she don't like you. She won't swipe her card, she don't like you. Hey, look, guys, just like the guy just got done explaining in the video how the woman was help the guy out with the date, or just paid for the date or whatever. When a woman really likes you, she'll pay for dates and stuff. It shouldn't be nothing that makes you feel bad about that. That should happen sometimes. Okay, I was on a panel last night, and a woman said she met a guy that some friends hooked him up, and they talked on the phone for their first date. They talked. He came to her house, and they talked. Most of them, those can work too. But like this guy was just saying in this video right here, you gotta let them pay some time, and don't play yourself. So a lot of jokers playing themselves, man, because they want to pay every time. It's not you don't. I get the paying every time. I get it. I mean, like, Uncle Scrooge ain't that bad. He's somewhat of a gentleman. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but here's the deal. I still require sometimes. Hey, look, girl. Hey, you need to cover something. You need to pay for this. You need to pay for some drinks. You buy me a drink. You need to do something. Or in most cases, it's better when they're doing it already. But if they ain't already doing it, I'm gonna tell you. And then if you don't like it, then you're gonna have to go about your business or get mad or whatever, or buy the drink or do whatever I just told you to do. But the thing of it is sometimes you gotta be like, hey, look, I want something too. But besides just, sex, guys. But that's how I wind up a lot of the dating stuff. It started to get, start to get played in it. Because like this man also explained in this video that we just watched, there's a lot of societal norms about the guy supposed to be paying all the time and all this stuff like that. Look, I'm not saying you can't pay 75, 85% of the time, 90. Okay. Depending on the type of person you are. But 100% of the time, no. Mm-mm. And a lot of guys play themselves in that one because like the guy was saying in the video, like I've been saying, and even with the woman that was watching in the first video, societal norms that have been like kind of pressed on the stuff. Let me start getting this other video up.
On every day.
Have people thinking a certain type of way. So when you think in this type of way, you're gonna go into this, and I understand that's one reason why I'm making the video. You're gonna go into this a certain way with a certain type of mentality, and it's gonna cause you to do certain stuff. So in some of this, guys gotta be looking at these societal norms and things like that, but they also gotta want something back. So we're gonna see what this guy right here is gonna say and what his opinion is on the dating thing.
He has to pay for you on every date. You've got to understand something. Society and darkness has a plan, and that is for men to become more like women and women to become more like men. So traditional values are being looked upon as bad. It's not about if you can pay or not. It's about allowing a man to fully be able to provide for you, not just physically and financially, but also emotionally, spiritually, and sexually. Because if you can't do all of those things, your heart knows, and eventually your soul will tell you, you will lose respect for him. And when you lose respect for him, you will lose connection for him. And when you lose connection for him, your body will not be able to open and receive him. And that's when the sexual relationship goes away. Set your standards right now, because your heart already knows what it needs to feel completely safe in his presence. He has to pay for.
Okay. So the guy in this video, he's got a good point. All right. Now this goes to one of the things that has to do with female nature. Okay. Because he's not wrong. If this thing starts to go, the date and all that stuff, and everything goes bad, of course, relationship stops and the sexual relationship stops. It's the same thing he just got done explaining. All right. So he ain't wrong about that. He's not. Now, the thing of it is we still got to stick to that principle we just went ahead to go with the other one. Now, I'm not saying in the beginning you're going to tell a joke you got to get shit. I'm just saying somewhere in there you still got to get something too. It's okay to pay the whole time, but a lot of guys play this, not the whole time, the majority of the time. I said the whole time. It's okay to pay the majority of the time. Some of the times you don't, and you might not have to ask about it. In most cases, I don't think guys should have to ask for this, and I don't think that most guys that don't have this issue do have to ask for it. But I think a lot of guys do have this issue, and the reason why you get this issue is because, like I said, societal norms, things like that, got you acting a certain type of way when that's not really how things are. You know, women reciprocate when they like you. Now, this guy right here is talking about pay all the time because that's what makes her feel safe, and that's okay. That's cool. I would say about 85, 95, shit, 90, 95% of the time, you gotta be paying. Just get her to let her do some stuff too. See, what guys, they kind of play with themselves this dating thing by trying to take all of it, and then you don't let the woman give you anything, not for real. I mean, sex, but you don't really get anything else out of it. So sometimes you got to look at that part too. And if you do, things will probably be better off for you. Hey, look, what am I getting out of this besides this? If most guys really sat there and looked at the dates that they go on and the relationships that they get into after those dates and stuff like that, and they look at when we started the dating, I gave. I'm always giving. And in most cases, that's going to probably wind up being bad. Okay. And I think they mentioned that in this next video here. Let me get this up on the stage here.
And assuming
Pause on that thing and get this guy. I think he mentioned something like that in this one. But these guys have some opinions about the dating thing too. This is the last video for the day. Hey, guys, I think overcompensate when they do expensive dating in the beginning. I think they're gonna talk about this in this one, like expensive dating and stuff like that. I think you're overcompensating. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and not for you. Most guys are not. Women think that when you're doing that, you're overcompensating for you. But most guys are really overcompensating for her because they know these societal norms. They're trying to show this woman that they got it and that they're good with it. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to show it to you like right in the front. And you kind of play yourself like that because I don't know, like you're going to wind up, it's two types of women that you can wind up with when you're doing that. Well, that you're going to be in front of. You're going to wind up in front of a woman that she like, this dude's weird because you're trying to give me everything in the beginning and she don't like you. Or you wind up with somebody that want to take advantage of you. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think you want that one. So let's get a look at this other video and see what these guys want to say.
somebody on a dating app, you kind of have to go in assuming that they're probably somebody else. For this reason, I was actually like, bro, I'm not going to be a traditional guy with you if there's a chance you're somebody else or dating multiple other people at the same time. I would feel kind of wrong if I was investing, even if it's a $20 hamburger. I ain't going to pay for a girl on a date and then, do all the gentlemanly traditional shit, and then you get the doggy bag to go, you take it over to the dude's house who never paid for anything, you him on the first date, and then you want me to be traditional, you want me to pay for a first date. I was always like, nah, we can go 50-50. These girls are probably dating maybe even another dude, not going to pay for the first date.
Okay. So let's see here. Let me move this right here. Okay, now with that guy, he's kind of saying that, like, with the dating apps and stuff like that. Now that's done brought something new into here, and I'm gonna get this comment in a minute. That's done brought something new in here because, yeah, with them dating apps, people just talking to a bunch of people. So I think guys will have to really try to talk to these jokers. You got to get good with communication with them dating apps. Because I've used them before, and I use them, sometimes, not really now. I've used them a lot before. But the thing of it is you got to be really good with communication because you got to talk to other people they're talking to, and that's a bunch of them. You know what I'm saying? So I think guys kind of play this up with them dating apps anyway because it's probably better to meet people in public. You know what I'm saying? Women need to kind of vibe with you sometimes, and those dating apps, like you see a picture, but you meet that person, and it's like, So maybe when you're out in public and two people get close together, they kind of vibe with each other. Yeah, that probably work out best. So let's look at this comment here from Queese. See. Let's see. So you think taking girls out on dates is lame dude behavior? Because that's how some women and men look at you for doing that. I didn't say that. I didn't say taking women out on dates is lame dude behavior. I don't think I ever said that. So I'm not advocating for that. What I'm talking about here is not overdoing it in the beginning of dating. Okay? That's what I'm talking about. And that doesn't mean not dating. It means not doing big dating until later. Okay? Like, say, for example, like this right here. All right? Most first dates should be something small. Now, this something small can depend on what level of life that you live at, what level of society. Okay? Some people small might be, we ran and got a snack. That snack might be going to McDonald's. It might be going to some people small. Okay? Now, you got another group of people. They small might be, hey, you run over here and grab a drink. You know what I'm saying? Then you got another group of people. Their small might be, hey, you go to the coffee house. Okay? You got another small, and you got different groups of people. That small don't mean you do something that don't mean nothing. It means you do something that's meaningful and small for your level for the two of y'all to hang out together and talk and stuff like that. That's what I mean by that. Yes, the so-called courtship is reserved for ladies, and modern women, they are, well, yeah, a lot of women, the modern women are a lot, they're the first from the ladies. And that's why I make these kind of videos, because here's the thing. Okay, them not doing the right thing don't mean that you can't. And it don't mean you have to do the right thing in a way that they're saying that you need to do it. Okay, you can do this in a way to the point where it benefits you. Most guys that I found out as I started doing this channel, I started getting more and more and more into it. And as I go further into it, I'm probably gonna learn even more. But Most guys, I think, overcompensate in the beginning of dating. They overcompensate like way too hard. They actually go to courtship, which is MS Best just put up here. Most guys are going to courtship. They're doing courtship type stuff. That's why I said the big dating. When somebody asked me that last question, the big dating happens later. That's the courtship. But you're doing stuff in the beginning. There's courtship type stuff to people that don't even really know you, and most guys are having that issue. I think it's also an issue with the dating app thing. Guys meet women on these dating apps, and they're going straight from this app to a date, and I don't think that's the best thing to do. I just don't. I talk to people on the phone first. Talk to them a little bit on that app, get their phone number, call them up a little bit, talk to them a little bit. Yeah, you might even meet this joker. You might see this joker at the store or something. Depends on if you meet somebody that's close to you. I recommend trying to meet people that's close to you because that way you don't wind up like a lot of the stuff that I say with the guys that I say they plan themselves with the dating thing. They meet people and then they go all out in the beginning. And I don't even know. I don't think it's trying to impress the other person. Like the videos we just went over and everything. Most of those times, that's about them trying to ease the girl's mind. I guess I should go ahead, saying to be cool with it. But it's like, that's gonna come. So a lot of guys gotta understand that too. I'm gonna bring up a video, another video, some info here that I got off the internet. And kind of talks about this a little bit. And let's see here. There we go. Let me pull this joke up right quick, y'all. But we're gonna talk about this a little bit more here, Share the screen. Mm, mm, okay. Go. All right. So I did a little looking look this up a little bit. So when guys do too much on early dates, such as excessive spending, lavish gift giving, high intensity planning, and that's just high intensity planning. See, that's what I'm saying, guys. It's like the first thing need to be something that's not like high intensity because these jokers, women got a lot of anxiety, guys. And y'all got to start really understanding that. A lot of guys got to start understanding that. Women generally got a lot of anxiety, but it could be a sign of love bombing, insecurity, or simply a misunderstanding of how to build genuine connection. And that's the part that I'm talking about. A misunderstanding of how to build genuine connection. While often intended to impress, this behavior can create discomfort, feel overwhelming, and may be a red flag for future control or unrealistic expectations. All right. So, we got all the stuff right there. Reason for too much effort, all the other good stuff. But either way as it goes, we just went over that when it's telling us the whole thing right there, too. So, we already know what that is. And we know that they got research and stuff on it because we just got done talking about it, and we just looked up stuff to saying, "Hey, look, when this happens, it's like here." But that misunderstanding and how to build that genuine thing is the problem, and it starts with this right here. This person got to like you enough to meet you to do something small. That's what I'm starting to see the hold in the dating thing these days. Most guys not meeting women that like them enough to do something small first, and that's I think most guys' issue. They always be asking me about this stuff, but I think it starts in the dating. I think most guys play themselves right there. I think they play themselves right there. Now, courtship being for ladies. All right. This is also true. Okay. Because you're going to get to the courtship sooner or later, but it being for the ladies, you got to look for certain, it's got to be certain women that get that. The courtship thing got to be for certain women. Most guys, to me, most guys are blowing everything they got on the first few dates, and they're not even knowing if this woman is material to be courted like that, or if they want to court her like that. And I think that what guys need to do is that in the beginning, when you're doing the date, that first date, that little small first date, that's like an interview. Okay, that's not the impressions of the person. Mm-mm. That's for y'all to get together and talk. See if that little vibe thing that I was talking about earlier. See if that's there. That's why it shouldn't be nothing big. Okay, especially if you paying. And I'm not saying that, you know what I'm saying? MS Best said it's just not worth it anymore. It is. It's still worth it. It's just the thing of it is that okay, um, you got a lot of junk in social media and all this stuff, man, that's really pushing a lot of other crazy junk. But most guys, if you get out and meet women on that, like instead of like that damn what we call them dating apps and junk like that, and most but see I say that, but I do understand this right here. A lot of people don't want online these days, so you kind of really almost got to use those things. If you're not a person that's got a lot of time to be out in the public and stuff like that, or you don't live in a big city, you know what I'm saying, you might really have to use that. And even if you live in those places, people don't really went online these days, so it's kind of hard to not use it. But you got to understand that with those things right there, it takes a whole lot of time, and then you still got to go through the whole other process. Once you do finally get one of them jokers, you can take your million swipes in that joker. And them jokers, they're not, them dating sites is not what it is. I would tell most guys to try to meet women in public. Or if you're scared of me too and stuff, don't walk up to nobody, don't know that they don't like you, and don't go places that where you don't fit in. A lot of guys be doing stuff like that. They go places where they don't fit in. And see, I've seen that. I've been in places, clubs, bars, things like that. Some guys walk in, it's like, oh, no, these jokers don't belong here. You know they don't belong. And if you don't belong, and you know you don't belong when you walk in there, the women that's in there, they're probably not going to take you. And if they do take you, they're going to try to take advantage of you. So, don't go places that you don't belong, where you don't fit in at. You know what I'm saying? That type of thing right there. If it's a woman that you talking to, because I've had this happen a lot of times. Like I tell shit like, nah, I don't go there. I don't do that right there. They want to go over here, go to these places right here. Nope, no, thank you. I don't go to them jokers. I don't go to that. I don't do that right there. We can go do this. You know what I'm saying? It's some women I stopped dating because okay, you hang out in these places right here, and I don't hang out in those places. Or I used to, and I don't go there no more because I know these kind of people are there. But you still kind of go there, so I mean, like a lot of things got to start count, man, more than guys are making them count. It's a lot of things that guys got to start putting to play when they're doing this type of stuff to get a better result out of it. But people are looking at it like at the small little the whole there. They're not looking at a big group or a big, picture. All right. But this thing starts with something small. It's just like we just got done talking about, the videos and stuff like that. A lot of people push a lot of social norms onto people, and it's not that those social and traditional norms are bad. They're not. If you somehow look up and wind up finding the right woman in the beginning, and you was to do those things and it was to work, that would be good. But the thing of it is the chances of that is not high, especially like MS Best said earlier. The modern women, not really on the being ladies things. So to avoid problems, you know what I'm saying? The best thing you can do is to do this right here. Refine things down to the point of like, okay, this first time, this first date, hey, this ain't for me nothing big. Okay, and the other person should be able to agree with that. That's why I say meeting women in public is probably the best thing. But this right here don't just go. It's just not just go to any public place and start meeting jokers. It's you got to have this thought out. All right. Um, that sprinkle chick. I've seen her telling women about okay, if you want this kind of guy, you got to go to this kind of place. It's kind of the same thing with this. If you just want okay, like I just tell y'all how I do it. All right. If I want some just smash and pass chicks, I go hang out in the hood. You know what I'm saying? Most of these jokers, they ain't got nothing going on anyway. Most of them still working at Popeyes, Burger King, and all that stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? They go to hang out with on the weekend, have some fun, but you've seen it. That's that. Now, you want something a little bit different. You got to be able to go hang out on the other side of town or in the middle side of town. Or you got to be able to hang out in all the areas. And this involves, I guess you want to call it costumes, but dressing. Okay? Because you can't look the same way in the hood. You got to look over there. Okay? You get in these areas like, okay, I want to meet this kind of chick right here. You get over here and you meet them. And the thing of it is you got to know where you at with this too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Hood chicks don't really go for me that much no more because I done kind of, my mind is a little bit different than before. Even the older ones is like, I don't fit in with them. I don't really fit in like I used to. Okay. Now can I still get someone to hang out with me? Yeah. So it what it is. You can do that too. But now I go over here these kind of middle class, upper middle class women. Okay, I gotta be wearing stuff like this. I gotta be doing this right here, talking like this. It's just that's really what it is. And it's a lot easier than what people think it is. I think guys are making this thing hard. That's why I say they be playing themselves in the dating thing. Instead of making the dating about her, make that dating about you. Okay. Which girl do I want? Talk to that one. I want this other one. Talk to her. The other one talk to her. Till you find the one that's responding. Okay. And when you get the one that's responding, now here's the next thing you go. Okay, what do I want to do? Not what she want to do. Not what I think I can do to impress her. No. What do I want to do? What I want to do. And then once you figure out what you want to do, you call her or them because sometimes you got to call a couple of them because this somebody, especially with first dates, this somebody not got time. This one ain't got this. Okay, so you call her. I'm going over here. Do you want to go? We're either gonna get yes or no. A lot of guys right here, they be talking about well if I plan something, she gotta go do this, she gotta do this, she wanna go somewhere else. And this and that. I ain't doing that. Now, let me tell y'all a little trick about that one. Sometimes when women suggest other places to me on the first date or other things, and I know it's something. I'm like, okay, it's about the same things what I was gonna do. I go because I done found some really nice places that I took other bitches to without, you know what I'm saying? By doing that. But the goal of it is I'm not going on this date to impress you. I'm going to sit down and talk with you and see what you got going on in your head. And when you do that, you can put this person into a certain category. So a lot of guys not categorizing women either. So I say they playing themselves. Hey, look, guys, go on dates. You on dates with some of these women. You gotta know, okay, you talk to her for a little bit. This brother got no sense, but I can take this here. And then might be talking to another one. Okay, this broad, she ain't got no sense. And I don't want to go there because she got a whole lot of no sense. Okay, so you don't do that with that one. And then you might be on a date with another one. And then it's like, okay, this broad got some sense. I want to try to take this somewhere. You see what I'm saying? So she, like MS Best was just saying, you go to the doggone courtship and stuff like that with that one. And that's when the bigger date and all the stuff, what that Chris Ruth, I don't know the name of that doggone place. That type of stuff, the high end dating, then that can go on then. There's no problem. The problem is I keep catching videos and stuff, and I should have probably downloaded some of those of guys talking about spending a whole bunch on the first date. You know what I'm saying? And that ain't never gonna be a good idea. It's never gonna be a good idea. Never, ever, ever. Unless you already know this person. That could happen. You know what I'm saying? Uh, that could be a good thing. But if you don't know them, if it's the first time going out, nah, I wouldn't do it. It's just not a good idea. If you got to do an expensive first date, I mean, like, and the other thing when I say uh expensive, I'm talking about like the different levels too. I just got done talking about this different levels. Some people expensive as this. Some people expensive as this. Some people expensive as this. Some people expensive might be Chili's. Some people expensive might be the Chris Ruth and all the other good junk and whatever that shit. Ruth Chris. I just heard people say it. I know it's an expensive place. I ain't never been there. So yeah. But people, you know, gotta understand that the big stuff, well, the person that you're talking to should definitely understand that you got to doggone be wanting to go too. The other person, they got to be wanting to go too. They got to be wanting to go. Some of this stuff is more about vibe, guys, and people they don't really pay attention to that. They don't pay attention to this vibe thing. All right. I think a lot of people they got used to meeting on the internet and all that stuff, and there's nothing wrong with that. Shoot, I used to be the king of that doggone internet dating. Now, if somebody want to know how to do that, I could tell them. But really, that's really just based on pictures. That's really all it is. Go get your best junk and put it on it, and get your best doggone car or whatever, and take pictures and do a bunch of junk, put on there, and women start talking to you. That's how social media works. It's just based off pictures. Dating apps and stuff, it's based off pictures. So, you wanted to get better, you could do that. You know what I'm saying? But when you get to the date, don't play yourself. Okay? First date should be small. And remember, the other person should want to go too. It's going to involve you doing a little bit of talking first. Guys need to get better at communication. Because if you're good at communication with women, things get a lot better, a lot easier. But if you make it about you and not her, you're going to be able to communicate better. That's going to be easy. I'm telling you how that's going to work. Because if you go in there with the intention not to impress the other person, but to see what you like about them, or to talk to them about, saying, you know, what you want to know about them, it's going to be a whole different time for you. And you might have 2 or 3 of these set up in a day because it's not you going there to impress the person. It's like a meeting. That first one need to be like a meeting. It's not you going there to impress them. after you done met this joker, then you trying to impress. The next thing can be something to impress them. Next one or two things. And them things don't need to be like way too much bigger either. And like I say, we're bigger. It's still depending on the size of what you think big is and what you think small is. Okay, some people might start out with McDonald's and then they might move to Chili's. Some people they small as Chili's and then they might move to something else. So you got to kind of remember that. But the thing of it is, once you understand that, you make things work a whole lot easier. A whole lot. And what people don't get is they sit there and they kind of like don't really they don't make the date be about them. The date is about impressing the other person, and that in itself is where the problem comes in. You ain't there to impress them. Not at all. Now I'm downloading some videos right now, y'all. We're gonna watch them in a minute here. And we're gonna see a couple of opinions about how much should be spent on the, you know what I'm saying, first date and things like that. Because the playing yourself comes in the fact that you don't keep an eye on what things and how they're doing. And you are doing this, like I said, for the other person. If you're doing it for you know what I'm saying, it's different. It's a whole lot different. And I think once guys start to try that a little bit more and experience that, they'll kind of see how it is. You know, when I go on dates, I'm not going for the other person to impress them. You know, what I'm doing though is going to see what is this person about? Do they really like me? Do I like them? Do I want to be around this person? Is this person who, especially if you don't met on them dating apps, is this person really who they say they are? Because you're gonna need to see that too. So it's a whole thing there. But like I said, once you make it about you, it's not as bad no more. You know what I'm saying? Because you looking for what you want. You're looking for what you want, and you're not. You're a lot less apt to play yourself if you're looking for what you want instead of trying to give somebody else what they want. You know what I'm saying? I open up these files here. I'm gonna take a look at some of these videos here. I gotta pause.
Girl.
Make that pause right there. Let me see here. I'm gonna bring in that other one before I even go into this one. So we're gonna get a couple of opinions on what a first date should look like, or
First date.
how much a first date some should be money should be spent on first date. So we're gonna take a look at these first guys right here.
Single, and she goes on a nice date with this.
See what they're talking about.
We all know the girl is single, and she goes on a nice date with this doctor and attorney, very successful man, buttoned up, and has, a lot to provide, but maybe isn't the most entertaining or maybe isn't the funnest guy, but is going out of his way to provide a really nice date. And then on the flip side, like, she's going to leave that date, she's going to go home, and then she's going to go call her ex-boyfriend that's abusive, mentally abusive, and then she's going to go fuck him. Why do you think that is?
Where are the insecurities coming from? Why do you feel the need to go above and beyond for a woman who hasn't earned that level of attention from you. And that feels inauthentic for a woman as well. You just met me. Why are you doing all this? And on some level, she may think she wants it, but when it's actually coming at her, it's like, I haven't done anything to earn this from you yet. And nobody really wants that. Again, it comes back to this disconnect. Men who are experiencing that and not feeling good about it and splurging, and not just like financially, but even splurging with their feelings. They're feeling emotionally drained because they keep giving and giving and giving. This is a self-worth issue.
Now, the lady in the video kind of hit it right on the head. All right, a lot of guys start this dating thing out and they be playing themselves. You're gonna wind up keep giving it. She played it all the way out for you. So it's not like I'm saying it. You know, a woman just said it. So we're gonna go ahead and take a look at another video here in a minute here. But this woman just she went over exactly what I said. The woman knows you're giving too much in the beginning, and then you're sitting there giving. And you're gonna keep giving. I know guys right now that are in relationships that have been in relationships for those about 10, 15, 20 years. These jokers in relationships about to end because they messed up in the beginning. They started with the dating, giving, and then they've been giving the whole time, and they're not really getting shit back. So it kind of starts right there. Let's go hop into the other video. This is gonna be the last one for the night. Let me hit the pause on this back.
How much would you?
Okay. All right. Man here. So this homies walk around asking about how much to spend on the first date. Let's see what some of these people got answers for.
How much do you expect the guy to spend on the first date? How much would you spend on the first date?
At least $500.
On the first date, about $1.
$150.
What would you get with $150?
I mean, I like a decent meal.
This your wife?
Yes. How you doing, bro?
What's your name?
My name's John.
Are you his missus?
Yeah. What's going on, though, homie?
Why is your wife walking away?
You gotta pay to get my hair done, my nails done, my feet done.
So let me ask you this: if he pays for all that, right, and the date doesn't go good, are you gonna refund him?
Hell no. You gotta spend how I look, and I look.
Okay. Now we starting to see why some of these guys be overdoing it. They try and do some of this stuff, but I also want to point out like this right here. Notice I said some people's big as this, some people's small as this, some people's big. One lady said $150. One lady said $500. And this lady saying you gotta pay how she look. And I don't think that's much, but hey, let's see what she's gonna say.
Good, so you gotta spend a good bag.
How much is that though?
As much as I want him to.
I say 250.
300.
So she lying.
A band? Cause my that good for a band. Like, what you talking about?
No. How much do you expect a guy to spend on the first date?
As much as he wants. At least 100. Like maybe like 120.
Don't spend no money on the
First date, at least 50.
What would you give with 50?
Steak.
Steak costs almost 500 depending on where you at. 500.
If we're going to a nice dinner, at least 700. But if we're going to a regular dinner, $4 me.
She said 7 bands.
7 bands.
5 bands.
For what? That's how you know a bitch ain't never go on an expensive ass date talking about some 3,000, 7,000.
It's an option.
What about you?
Boy, don't be motherfucking barking. What you talking about? But me personally, I don't really care what we eat. I got food at home already.
Okay, so you can see in this video that it changes based on different people. That one girl said $1,000. I'm like, oh hell. And them damn lashes. And you really think somebody gonna spend $1,000 on the first date with you? See, she's probably a drug dealer's girlfriend now. So looks like that. Is one thing I'm trying to say about the thing when you going out and you seeing these people. What they look like they do. That shit matters. Matters very much. Okay? So that's really, I'm gonna start closing out here, guys. We've been in here about an hour. We're talking about this. But a lot of guys do plan themselves, but the thing of it is you gotta look at these social norms and stuff too. That a lot of guys are looking at, and then especially like the videos and stuff that we went over today. They're kind of pushing this thing on there that guys gotta have a bunch of money to spend, but you got some girls in there that said $50. You got one girl that said $50, And you had one that said, hey, look, if you taking me somewhere nice, you spend this. If you taking me over here, we just gonna grab a snack, you're getting the $4. So you see, in there's still options. The rest of them was kind of crazy. And I pulled that video up for a reason because I wanted to show this right here. The majority of the options are probably gonna be bad ones or expensive ones. And then you got a few ones in there that's like down to earth. All right, let's just go get something to eat. Good. And then if you want to take her somewhere later, that's good. That's fine. So you got to kind of look at the numbers thing in that last one. That's why I wanted to show that video. Okay. It's a numbers thing in there. Okay. So that being said, y'all, Uncle Scrooge about to get out of here. Don't play yourself in the date. Look for the ones with the best deal that you like. That also, well, if you like them, not just physically like them, okay? They got other stuff going on too. When you hit that first date, guys, what you want to do is you want to sit here and talk with this woman and see if she got any type of vibe with you. Can y'all talk on certain levels? Because when you meet them and you see them, they're just cute. So you don't really know nothing about them. You got to keep talking to them a little bit. But that's really really not that dating thing. My personal belief is the first date shouldn't happen until you don't talk this joke a little bit, but that's not always the case. I don't even do that all the time. Sometimes you go straight to it. You know what I'm saying? Hey, let me just go see what this joke is talking about. I know some guys do that too. When you get there, you see what this joke is talking about. I'm gonna be honest with you, most of them ain't gonna be talking about shit. That's really. I mean, I agree with MS Best when he said, a lot of women are far from being ladies, but most of them ain't gonna be talking about nothing. But some of them are, and then some of them gonna be like, kind of in between. And I don't suggest going there. I just ready to go to ones that ate. Well, you can, you still can. You can hang out with them. I always tell you, Hulk smash. You know what I'm saying? I always say that, but I think the reason that most guys are out here kind of playing themselves with the dating thing is because you got all this stuff, like just all these videos we went over tonight, and then all of them it talks about the standards, and really it's talking all about what women want, and guys think that's what women want, and that's cool, but they can't have what they want in the beginning. You can't have what you want in the beginning, can you? She's not gonna give you what you want in the beginning. You gotta work towards what you want. So we're gonna work this out a little bit. You're gonna get this right here. You're gonna get this little bit. Okay. Let me see, man. Like I keep telling y'all now, some people small may be McDonald's. Some people small may be Chili's. Some people small may be the neighborhood grill where they charge $150 a plate. That the small depends on everybody else. So when I'm saying small, don't get the idea that I'm saying don't give her nothing. I'm saying do this on your level. Okay. If you're at a level, if this chick is at the level of like, hey, no, she cool with McDonald's, give her McDonald's. Let me tell y'all a quick story before I get out of here. My dad told me, okay, that made me kind of get this way. He was telling me he met this girl one time, back in the day, of course. And he was trying to take her out, going doing all this stuff. And they were doing all this nice stuff and everything else. And she wasn't cool with it. And so he was asking her. He was like, hey, what's going on? We doing all this nice stuff. And then she's like, yeah, but my friends can't see me having fun and stuff like that because some shit like that would be. My pops did. You know how he rectified the situation? He said, okay. He took that joker to the club where she wanted to be at, where her friends could be, got a couple of drinks, got a pack of Newport cigarettes, and bam, it was on. And I'm telling y'all that it's just that simple with some of the rest of these jokers. These women out here saying this shit about they want certain days. No. If they want all that at the beginning, they just don't like it. In the beginning, you should be able to get him something small. And small is going to depend on her now. And when you meet her at, that's going to tell you about small. You meet her in certain places, you know, okay, this chick can take this. You know, they go, okay. And if people don't know this, y'all start dropping the comments and stuff to me, and I'll do videos about this stuff, and I'll explain in, you know, all of that. You know what I'm saying? I explain all of that. Because it's about different meeting people in different places, different areas. I think that guys got to start moving in areas and stuff like that. They got to start respecting more. Not really, hey, look, I'm not going to always give all the time, but you got to start being able to say it. Now, I'm going to give more than you. But I'm going to get something. You got to give me something else besides just this. That's really kind of plays down to that. So, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and wind this one up. Thank y'all, everybody that came out and viewed tonight. Just remember when you're out there, don't be playing yourself. Do what's best for you. Go where you want to go. When you decide you want to go, because that's what I do. I got a date Saturday. And I told her, look, I want to go here. I'm gonna pick your ass up at this time. Okay. You know what I'm saying? But me and her been dating for a while already. I had some other ones that'd be like, okay, look, hey girl, what you doing when you get out of your college classes or whatever? You want to go by McDonald's and get something to snack on? See what I'm saying? Just don't overplay your stroke. Find out who she is. Look at her. See where she's at. And then go from there. Don't try to pull out everything in the beginning, because you already gonna know. By the time they probably gonna tell you about how much. Matter of fact, when you're looking at them, you about to know how much you. So, but anyway, as it goes, y'all. Thank everybody for coming through. Appreciate the comments and stuff we got tonight. It was a good run. If anybody else is watching this, hey, don't get like, subscribe, and share. I'll be dropping these jokers. I'm gonna try to come on here on live on Wednesday nights. Be talking. Maybe we can get some panels going. But y'all enjoy the show. I hope y'all enjoyed it. And if you got questions, comments, drop them in the thing. Let me know what's going on. But we finna get out of here. I'm Taurus Downie, y'all. Uncle Scrooge. This that Go Hard or Go Home channel. And we out of here on this one, y'all. Don't play yourself out there in the date. Peace.